What's going on, guys? Welcome to another tutorial brought to you by TheMindCrafters. I'm Captain Jack. I'm standing on top of a huge statue of myself behind my awesome tower that's not done. And in this episode of Tutorial Business, we're going to be learning some knowledge about a wither factory that's going to give you a whole ton of nether stars, because you're going to need a lot of nether stars if you want to build those tier 6 void ore miners and so on and so forth from environmental tech. And also, Draconic evolution requires a lot of nether stars. So let's see how it looks in action. All right, so here I am. I'm on the 5th floor of my little tower here, which I am deliberately not showing you because that will be for another video. This is my wither spawning area, and I will explain all this shortly. Got a massive graphical problem over here. I'm using Invictus. So right behind this wall, this is my wither spawner, and I accidentally just spawned in about 100 withers at once and used up all my materials, so I actually can't flip the switch and show you how it works, but I can assure you that this is in a very small little area. It is actually in my base, and it's perfectly safe, so let's find out how to build it. Alright, so here we are on my really annoying vector plate conveyor belt, and this is the tutorial. There's really not much here to show you guys. I'm going to go through this stuff super fast, and I'll try to get you out of here as quickly as possible with as much knowledge as possible. One thing I always like to say before I show people builds on tutorials like this is that this is not the only design, it is not the best design, and it is not the only way to spawn withers. There's actually a new version of Minefactory Reloaded, and it is called Industrial Foregoing, which is super awesome. You have a bunch of options here. You have a wither builder. You can cage up withers with that magical mod. I forget what it's called. Astral Sorcery. Yeah, plenty of other places and mods and stuff to do this with. I'm just going to show you the way that I like to do it because it's super small and it's 100% safe. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to start out by building a box. And the box needs to be made by wither-proof material. In this episode, I'm going to show you Ionite, and this is an environmental tech resource that's brought up by the void ore miners. Palladium, or I'm not sure what it's called, isn't one that you can get a little bit earlier. So if you want to wait for that, you can do that. But basically, we want to build a box the size that perfectly just fits a wither in. So just like this. So it needs to be 3 deep, it needs to be 5 wide, and it needs to be 5 high as well, and it needs to be hollow in the middle. The reason why this is red here is because don't think you can cut corners by eliminating the sides off of here to save on materials. The wither explosion will come through the corners and out into your base. So you absolutely want to make this a full and complete box. The method of spawning the withers is this right here. This is a spawner from RFtools. The method of killing the withers is the mob grinder from Draconic evolution. And again, there's multiple ways to kill these things. There is a way to just kill them without any damage dealing block, such as the grinder, by using the RFtools shield generator and set it to solid damage. I'm not going to show you that because if you do things wrong, it can release them into your base, and you definitely do not want to do that. All right, so now I'm going to go through real quick the components that make up the spawner, and then I'm going to show you how it works. First, you're going to need these things called matter beamers, and matter beamers basically take different items depending on the spawner needs and send them from the matter beamer into the spawner itself. So depending on which type of mob you want to spawn, it's going to require different things. So to spawn a spider, I need string, I need whatever this is, dirt, and some sort of natural organic device here. Now, the matter beamers all need to be powered, and they all need to be supplied with a redstone signal. It could be a permanent redstone signal, like a lever, or it could be a temporary one, like a button. So they can be automated as well. I'm using flux ducts or impulse item ducts here. They can be automated with Ender IO just as easily. I did find that there was some difficulty with export buses from Applied Energistics, so that might not work. So if I apply a redstone signal to this, it's going to beam all this stuff that's inside of here. So I have dirt and wheat, and it's going to send those inside the matter, or the spawner here, and it's going to slowly climb. Okay, and then the dirt's probably not being sent yet, so I'll take that out. And if we send the dirt up there, the dirt's going to slowly pile up. We got 5 out of 0.2. This is the requirement on the right side here per spawn. So in order to spawn spiders, you need 0.01 of a string. Now the string I have loaded up in here, and I also have it hooked up with a button. By the way, there's power underneath all of these things. So if I go ahead and set the world to easy, and if I go and hit this button, it's going to send that inside the matter beamer. Oh, hold on. There we go. And there's your spiders, okay? So as soon as it has the requirements met for when it needs to spawn, whatever this is, it's going to just go ahead and spawn those. The next thing you're going to need is a block protector from RFtools. And basically, this is a very self-explanatory block. It protects blocks from taking damage. So this block protector is linked to all these pieces of glass here. And if I go ahead and grab a piece of TNT, probably should have done this off camera. That's all right. I'm going to grab a piece of TNT. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to turn it on. The block protector down here is linked to all these glass blocks up here, and it actually protects one of the most fragile blocks in the entire game, but it's at the cost of power. So every time I go ahead and blow this up, you're going to notice that there's kind of a surge in power, and if I take away the capacitor bank out of here, you see here it's slowly consuming power, and then I'm going to put that on here. I'm going to turn it on, and you're going to see a big drain here. Bam, like that, okay? So you definitely need to make sure this is powered up at all times, or otherwise your spawner is going to break. You're going to lose your syringe, which, by the way to get the proper syringe is you got to spawn a wither the normal way, and you got to beat it with the syringe until it's full, in case I forget to mention that. All right, so that's what the block protector does. Now, in order to set up the block protector, you need to get an RFtools wrench, a smart wrench. You need to shift right click and it will change the mode, and you need to be in the orange mode. And once you're in the orange mode, you right click. So I cleared this block. You right click the block, shift right click the block, and then you right click anything that you want to be protected or unprotect. So this is protecting, unprotecting, protected, protected, protected. Anything that's not protected will probably not survive the blast. So you'll see that the unprotected blocks around the corner here blow up, and they do not survive the explosion, okay? So that's all you want to do. You can clear it like this, select it, select, 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 select. Okay, these blocks are all protected. The quartz underneath it is going to explode, but nothing else should. So the block protector's main function in this scenario here is to protect your spawner from being blown up by the wither's little shooty things of death. The next thing you'll need is something to collect the nether stars that drop from the boss, and preferably also the experience that drops from the wither bosses. I'm going to recommend something called, there's this Absorption Hopper, there's an Ender Hopper that you can use, which does not absorb experience. Doesn't matter what it is, you can use any block that's available in the pack that you're playing, something that will take items in a vicinity and suck them in and put them into an inventory. That's all you need. So for this, we're going to use an Absorption Hopper, which is going to take both items and experience. And this works great because you don't need to actually incorporate it into the box design and protect it with the block protector. It can sit outside. So something like this, if you have it, this is what I'm going to recommend. All right, now to spawn the wither, you're going to need a full syringe, so essence level 100%, and we're going to need nether stars, soul sand, and some sort of organic material. And for this purpose here, I believe carrots is going to supply us with the biggest bonus as far as material goes, even though it's not listed here. So you can use whatever you want. Again, it does not matter, but carrots is a real easy one. In order to get carrots, you can literally use, again, whatever kind of farming method that you want. The faster that you can get carrots, the faster that you can spawn withers. So garden cloches are a super easy solution. I've had this running for a little while. It's just one cloche. The bone meal is optional as a fertilizer. It just needs to be supplied with a little bit of power. These things literally run on almost no power at all. Some water, and then they'll auto output into something like a chest here, and this can be used to supply your spawner. You can also use Gendustry, industrial apiaries. I actually am using this in that tower that you saw in the beginning. I am using porcine bees, which actually they have an 87% chance of producing this, plus with production modifiers. the bees are actually way faster than the garden close could ever be at the cost of more power, of course. So it doesn't matter how you get your carrots or how you get your organic material. You just need to have some sort of mass quantity of organic material on hand for this. All right, now this step is completely optional. This is the machine infuser, and the machine infuser takes dimensional shards along with a bunch of RF, and it will infuse machines. So you see how it's slowly using these and infusing this matter beamer. And every block from RFtools, or a lot of them anyways, not every block, has an infusing bonus, and it shows up in yellow there on the left, that this reduces power usage and increases speed with less materials needed. So if you infuse, if you only have enough to infuse anything, I would probably infuse these. That way you need less carrots, less nether stars, less soul sand, so on and so forth. So this is a good block to infuse. Block Protector, also an awesome block to infuse, and it has reduced power consumption. And the spawner reduces power usage. It's not super helpful, but definitely if you have the dimensional shard on hand, I would definitely infuse the matter beamers because that's going to be to your benefit. All right, so this is it. This is the wither spawner. This is how small that it actually is when it's fully put together. I actually did build a smaller version of this. It looks ridiculous, where actually all of these blocks are the wall of the box, and they're all block protected, which is a pretty big waste of power. So I just left a nice little box like this. It's probably safer anyways. So let me show you what's going on here. I have 3 matter beamers that have a constant redstone signal. I have an AE2 network down here. You can also use refined storage, works just the same. I have 1.6 million carrots. The carrots are being exported by this ME interface, okay? And they're being pulled out by this resonant servo. The resonant servo is set to round robin, and it's delivering stacks of 10, I believe, to each of these 3 matter beamers. Okay, so it's constantly keeping these full. And unfortunately, one of the drawbacks of this system, unless of course you edit it with some sort of level emitter witchcraft, is that the spawner, despite having the maximum amount of organic material, which is 6,400, will continue to absorb carrots regardless of whether or not it can accept them. So I'm wasting a lot of carrots right now. I found that it really actually didn't matter too much when you put it into action on an actual playing server or single player. So my 3 matter beamers are all set. They're beaming down to my spawner, which is down here. I have power connected here. Power it however you want. I'm just using this because I'm in creative mode. I have my block protector, which, hold on. Nope, I do not want to do that. I want to be in orange mode, like I said in the original tutorial. Okay, there we go. I have my spawner protected, and that is it. It is only protecting 1 block. The mob grinder, in this case, does not need to be protected. Maybe some other mob grinding blocks would. Maybe the industrial foregoing grinder might need to be protected. I'm not sure if it's blast proof. Okay, so this is what's going on here. Got my carrots going into here, going into my spawner. Next, I have my absorption hopper, and the absorption hopper actually does not need to be inside the box, which is fantastic. That's one of the huge benefits of this block here. So it's taking the experience, it's dropping it into an experience solidifier, which is converting it into something that I can use later on in here. So you definitely want to be saving your experience, and also experience can kind of build up in the bottom of these mob grinding boxes, and you don't want that to cause FPS issues on your server. So I just have that being imported by an import bus here. And the ME interface kind of serves a dual function where it's pushing carrots out through here, and also it's accepting the nether stars in through here. Dude, should be day in a second. There we go. Okay, this is optional, the Wither Boss Death Muffler. Okay, I can remove the boss bar if I do that. That just makes it a little bit quieter, and I have a sound muffler here. Mine happens to be right inside of my base, so it's super annoying to hear all the noises, so I just muffled that. And that's basically it. This is the whole thing put into practice. This is super simple, and it will net you a whole ton of nether stars. So You can see in my system I have no nether stars. I have a button hooked up to this matter beamer. The matter beamer is linked to my spawner. If I press this button, let me go to easy. So it actually spawns something. So I just wasted, unfortunately. No, I didn't. Nether stars. Press this button. See, it's going to spawn a whole bunch of withers in there. It's super safe. They're all going to die. I have 10 nether stars, okay? And just to show you how safe that this actually is, I'm going to spawn in a lever. And this is what I accidentally did in the first part of the video. I'm just going to send all these nether stars in here. Let me pick up a few more, actually. Oh, they're right inside my system. I'll put all these nether stars in here. I'm going to send them all out. Okay, there are a lot of withers in there, and you can't actually see them all, but you see they just keep coming, and they keep dying. They will not get out at all, so it's great. So you can see here 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay, this is a super effective way to farm nether stars. Super simple, super safe, super small. Again, you can do this in a variety of ways. 56 nether stars immediately. And basically all I put in there was carrots. Okay. You do need the first nether star to get started, but once you got it, you can spawn as many as you want. Now, what I did on my server is, you see one just spawned there. You can see in here that I have way too many nether stars, but not enough carrots, because I used all the carrots and now it's got to reload the stupid thing. This is where more matter beamers could make the setup a little bit faster. But as soon as it reaches 100, it's going to spawn a wither. And basically what I did was I just loaded my system with nether stars. I loaded it with soul sand, and I just let it go. And over time, basically it just spawns like a wither like every 30 to 45 seconds, depending on how fast this is. And you just end up getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of nether stars. So this is the way to get nether stars super easily, using basically RFtools alongside some other mods. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did. Drop a comment in the comments below. And as always, guys, stay poised.